today. One shot below today.
If you're at a national state level, you have to run non-sale, it's wholesale.
It is like 9,000.
The only mistake I made, I didn't put it in the registration booth with it.
Just this ever-evolving story.
Welcome back to Let's Grow Pulling. I'm your host, Logan Stevens, along with the good old Jason Bittinger. Jason, we survived Farm Show Week, that's for sure. It was a long week. It was a fun week. But no, we've got a big lineup of guests tonight. I know a lot of you are sitting here waiting to hear some very interesting things on if you possibly made this Pullers Championship. And then coming on here at the 7:30 time, we've got Russ Yoder bringing in and telling us a little bit about the event he's got going on here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So that's going to be interesting, a new event of its kind. So we'll see how that rolls. And then to round out the night for us, we're going to bring in the one, the only Doug Borth, and bring in a little bit more information on what's about ready to go down on the Southern Swing happen March 13th, 14th, and 20th and 21st. But without further ado, I know most of you are waiting to see the one and only Brent Yaron. So let's bring him on and let's get this all kicked off. Brent, how's it going?
It's another day, that's for sure. But yeah, obviously we just rounded out the farm show here, so that means that it's time for Pullers Championship to announce the fan voted invite. So we rounded out the second round of fan voting here about a week ago, and so we have compiled the results. We're here to share them tonight. So without further ado, I guess, you guys ready?
I guess I'm ready. Are you ready, Jason?
Yeah.
I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully. All right. And then whoever is able to put that up on screen. Perfect. All right.
There we go.
So we're going to go through, and classes are in random order. I'm just going to go through it, and the way that you see the pullers on these slideshows, or like essentially it's just a little PowerPoint presentation. We'll go through each of the competitors. They're in a random order. It's not how they finished or anything like that. And then it'll show a complete list of the vehicles for each class as well. So we'll go through and introduce them one by one. So the first class we're going to do, Superstock Diesel 4x4 trucks. So we have 8 spots that are up for grabs here. And how we filled out these 8 spots. So essentially every class had a predetermined amount of initial invites. So we invited all the points champions from the 3 major associations, as well as the overall weekend champion from the year before. And they had till the end of the year to accept that invite. And if not, that got converted over to a fan vote spot. So that is how we then fill out the rest of the classes through fan voting. So we have 10 in each class. So to round out the rest of the 10, we needed 8 to fill the spots. So that means we had 2 initial invites accept their invites. So we're going to start out here. We have the Smokin' Ya HD, Eric Stacy, former champion. We have Kong of Xander Lee. The Rock Hard Ram of Van Hazley, another former champion for TPC. The Cummins Killer 2 of Dylan Kuzlik. The Cummins Killer 3 of Craig Dickey. Shy Diesel, Kent Crowder, another former champion. One Nation, Cody Lee. And Shy Diesel, Brady Ingram. Those are the 8 trucks. that'll round out the Super Stock Diesel 4x4 trucks.
Now let's keep in mind, mention Brent's the only one that gets to see these results, so I don't get to see him, he don't get to see him, so we're all seeing this live for the first time here. This is pretty exciting to see. I know we'll go over this at the end, but how are numbers this year with fan voting wise?
Yeah, it was pretty identical to what it was last year. So the number of votes was, again, pretty about on par for what it was in the last year, and up from 2 years ago. So definitely good numbers there for fan voting. So we appreciate everyone that took the time to do it, as well as the competitors that were sharing it out there, and trying to get their route out as many votes so they can compete at this event. So from year to year, we're trying to make it bigger and better, and hopefully 1 year this will be one of the biggest purses in pulling. So that's obviously our goal. All right, let's move on to the next class. We have the 5.0 Pro Stock Tractors. We have 6 spots that will round out the 10 to compete. The first one we got is the Porter family in Game Green. The Fly You Fool of Chuck Holsworth. Hillbilly Express, Jim Brackett. The Wheat Fed, David Justice. And the Wampus Cat of Greg Yeager. And the Special Edition 5.0 of Steve Bausma. Those are your 6 tractors that will complete the 5.0 Pro Stock class. Next, we have 2-wheel drive trucks. 6 spots here to fill out the class as well. And first up, we have Tim Beatty in the Lumberjack. Let's see, you have an extra T in there. We have Donnie Sullivan in the Big Stick. Excuse me. Part City Auto Parts, Lisa Tatum. The Midnight Gambler of Jeremy Nelson. Whip It, Don Nelson. The last one is the Buffalo Chips of Richard Morris. Those are your 6
group of 2-wheelers.
Moving on. Another thing to also say is, for whatever reason, if one of these invites are unable to make it, or there is a currently initial invite that has accepted an invite and they are unable to make it, we will move down the list. So say there's one of these vehicles that can't make it, number 7 in fan voting is going to be the next person that we reach out to. So just a fair warning that if you finish in 7th, 8th, there's still a possibility that you are able to make it as essentially as a reserve for those who are unable to make it. Things come up. People dyno, people can't get parts, just different things like that. All right, 95 limited Pro Stock tractors. We have 6 spots for this class as well to fill out the class of 10. And kicking things off, we have Nick Gallitz in the Running in the Red. Moody, Justin Smith. The Digging Deep Deer, Brent Paddock. The High Class Hooker, Kendra Roush. Killing Time, Dean Hollicky. And the Full Bore of the Ratterman family. Those are your 6 tractors.
Do we got very much new blood in the competitors this year?
Yeah, so it changes from year to year. It's so like this class here, there's actually 4 tractors that have, out of the 6, that have yet to pull at the Players Championship. So again, classes, it varies. There's some people that do a really good job of campaigning for themselves as well. So that's why you see them, repeatedly come back year after year, because they just do a good job campaigning, getting people to vote for them as well. So yeah, it's I would say probably from year to year, about 60% usually ends up being returning pullers, like 60 to 70%, and then we usually have about 30 to 40 that are new competitors. But obviously, as years go on, there's more and more people that have been able to attend. So having new blood ends up being a little bit less of a chance than from years past. All right, next class we have the light super stock tractors. There's going to be 8 in this class. First one up, we got Galot, Brent Payne. The High Strung, the Terry family. Extremely Insane, Larry Phillips. Tennessee Tracks, Jacob Fuquay. The Little Temptation of the Hog family. Hesden Lane, the Diggin' Fever. Insanity and Brandon Phillips. And Alter Ego, Brian Bowles. Your 8 light super stock tractors. I don't know how many more classes we have left. I think 4. Next, modified mini tractors. 7 spots to fill out this class. The first one up is going to be Renee Theobald and the Pretty Wicked. Walk the Line, Adam Kester. Funny Little Farmall, Ken Benny. Show No Mercy, Bruce Law. Hopefully we see him back in the tractor this year. Have No Mercy, Tyler Slaw. Aftermath, Logan Peisig. Beast of Burden, Adam Kester. Those are the 7 for the class. All right. Oops. Next class, 4-wheel drive trucks. 8 spots to fill out to get our class of 10. And the first one up is Bodacious, Bob Morrell. Traction Control, Donnie Reeve. Cornfed and Jason Bramer. Triple Throwdown, Garrett Reeve. Yellow Fever and the Massetti family. Code 3, John Bohr. Gunpowder and Lead, Terry Hagedorn. Baby Huey, Chris Daniels. And that is your class. We did have one of our initial invites drop here, so we did actually add one more fan vote. So we did move that up to 8.
What a great group of West Coast guys. They really put in the work to get stuff in there.
They do. I mean, they definitely share it around and make sure people are voting for them. But they're a great group of guys. I love visiting with them when they do make it out from out west. And yeah, they definitely put in the work and paid off.
For sure.
All right.
What do we got left?
We have ITPA Outlaw Modified Tractors. So this is the 7,400-pound class. Different engine combinations, twin Emmys with 1471s. You got the triple Chevys. You got everything pretty much under the sun. I mean, pretty much 7,400 pounds and different combinations. We got the last year, Doug Both made it to the event as well. So turbines are allowed. It's a very unique and fun class to watch. Very competitive. So added it last year and definitely put on one of the better shows that I've seen at our event. So we have them back, and this year you got to vote on them. And the first one's going to be another West Coast California tractor, Steve Milanesio and the Italian Stallion. Twisted Whip, Don Nelson. Californian, Robbie Fagundes. New tractor he debuted at the end of last year. The whip, the SETI family again. The Texas bullwhip, Don Nelson. Sweet Pain and the Ulmer family. And Don Nelson again in the Bullbuster.
So what do we got? 3 Texas, 3 California, and 1 Nebraska?
I'll let you know. 1, yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
West Coast is doing their thing.
They definitely did. All right, and to round out, we have the Pro Stock Tractors. 8 spots here. We got Travis Coons in the Trailblazer. Brett Parrish, El Nino. Youngblood, Braden Tramick. Cutting Edge Pro, Grayson Shelton. Red Gambler, Tim Kane. T8 Tomcat, Greg Elsing. New Generation Plus, as in Lemke. Nutcase, Chris Hoyt. Those are your 8. Oh, you're right. Russell's right. Ulmer is South Dakota. So those are the 8 there as well. So I think that should be it. Stop sharing my screen.
What classes had the most votes in them?
That's a great question. I could go back and look. If I had to guess, it's probably Pro Stocks. It's usually what it ends up being every year.
So talk to us. We know who's in the event now. Tell us a little bit more about the event itself.
Yeah, so this year's event is going to be year number 5. The event takes place in Nashville, Illinois at the Track Holes Hours. The dates are May 15th and 16th. So we have 10 classes, 10 in each class, so 100 hooks. And we do a combined weekend winner. The weekend winner is made up of, we take your placing and it becomes a golf score. So if you get a first place and a fourth place, you get 5 points. If you're 8th and 10th, you have 18 points. Lowest score wins. So what we do then is we write out a big check, and our goal is to make that check bigger and bigger every year. And we do that by taking out every dollar that we take into the gate and through the live stream, and we put it into the purse, as well as any extra sponsorship dollars that we have. And the last 3 years now, I believe that we've had enough sponsorship dollars to cover the event and then stick money back into the purse. So, and again, sponsorship is, drives on how much we can do with this event. And so we kudos to all the sponsors over the years that have been able to stick by our side and help support this event and make it what it is now. And sponsorship is open, so we are reaching out to to our sponsors and hopefully new sponsors to try to make this event grow and take it to the next level. So if you know anybody or you are somebody that is interested in sponsoring, just reach out and we'll get a hold of you and we'll figure something out. We have custom sponsorship packages available as well, but we do have a whole slew of different levels and different opportunities. So if there isn't something that fits, we can definitely come up with something that would fit to your needs. So that's kind of the rundown of the event. We do have like a kids zone. Last year the winds were insane, so we didn't unfortunately put up the bounce houses, but last year we had monster truck rides and we had a kiddie pedal pole. We will be doing that again, so just be on the lookout on more information as we get closer to the event on some of those things. Potential for a band on Friday night this year after the poll. We'll see how things kind of line up as we get closer to the event. But yeah, admission's $20 per night. That's not going to change. Live stream's $25 per session, or it's $40 for the weekend. And again, all that money goes right back into the purse. yeah, we trying to do something unique that never has been done before, and we wanted to get the fans involved, and this is kind of the best way that we figured we could do it. And just trying to give back to those who give to us, and we're trying to make something and turn it into something bigger. And yeah, without the support of the fans, the pullers, the sponsors, obviously Brad Holzhauer, who without this, literally not possible. So we have to thank them for everything.
So we see a couple people here asking different classes and stuff. Where can they find the results after the fact?
Yeah, so you'll be able to find them. I'll get them posted here. I just got to finish a couple more graphics, but they will be posted to the Facebook page, and they'll also be on the website. I'll have a little button you can click right on the homepage of the website. It'll take you to the fan vote invites that got voted in. So you'll be able to find them both there by 8 o'clock, I'd assume. The website and the Facebook page should be updated with all that. So otherwise, actually, I don't know if you can go back, reverse the rewind the live stream or not, but yeah, we'll have those posted here shortly. So just patience if you missed it. We will have those up here in hopefully the next 15 minutes on the Facebook page, and then the next half hour, 45 minutes on the website.
So when you're a puller that sees that they've got in, what do you have to do now?
Yep. So registration is open on the website. So you just click on the puller registration tab at thepullerschampionship.com. Click on that, fill out your information. You're good to go. From there on out, you won't probably hear from us until we get closer to the event. Once we start getting all the information ready for that we need the pullers to know, we send out essentially an itinerary / need to know information to all the pullers. So as right now, it's just if you got in, you can get registered and get locked in and be ready to go for May.
That's awesome. So as with anything, there's going to be breaks and stuff. So you guys will be swapping people in and out all the way up until.
Yeah, we always do. I mean, it's inevitable that there's going to be some pullers that are going to be unable to make it. There's, again, I talked about people dyno and broke. There's been, something come up in the family and they can't make it anymore. There's been, I was waiting on parts, still haven't gotten them. So we will definitely be replacing, some of these, but just stay tuned to the Facebook page and website, and we'll get those updated with the current pullers as they drop and we replace them. So just be on the tune or look out for that. And again, it's if you were a puller that did not finish in the fan vote results and got in right away, you still have that opportunity that potentially you might get in. So just kind of be on the lookout that if you see a message from myself or Schultz or Paul Romack, that might be why. So we'll definitely reach out and let you know, and we'll confirm with you that you're able to make it before sending registration over and stuff like that.
So you've been doing this for the past 5 years. Tell us a little bit about what goes on behind the scenes, setting this all up. Stuff people doesn't really see. I mean, you see what's on the face of the event, but what goes on behind closed doors?
Yeah, so we usually don't get together. We kind of, after the season's done, and we kind of close the year out. So say 2025 finish. For the next couple weeks after that, we like last year we worked with John and Christy. They cut all the checks for us. So we worked with them, make sure that was all done. Paying the workers, finalizing all the numbers, so that we could pay out the pullers and whatnot. Essentially, after that's done, we put a wraps on 2025. So then 2026, we start planning essentially once the end of the season is done, because we're all involved in polling, and so it's hard to keep planning during the season when everybody's so busy trying to get together and have that meeting. So essentially, the week after the last major poll of the year, it's usually like the last week of September, first week of October, we get together and we just kind of hash out what things can we improve on from the previous year. So that's kind of the first meeting, and we start discussing what classes we want to have for the following year. And we take those ideas and we bounce them off Brad, and then between what Brad thinks and what we think, we come up with a class list. And we usually post something by the beginning of November. So that's when we like to have the class list out, and so then we have 2 months for the initial invites to be able to accept an invite. So from there, obviously you get through the holidays and whatnot. During this time, we start reaching out to sponsors, and then at the end of towards the end of December, I go through and I start making up I go through and get the whole fan vote list put together of every puller that competed throughout the year, and the classes that we'll be having, and for the classes we'll be doing fan votes for. And then I get that all set up and the website ready to go, and then we do round 1 of fan voting, round 2 again. Essentially, it's the same thing. Update all that, reach out to the pullers, make sure they'll accept an invite type of thing. Get that list ready. Round 2 happens. Now we're here. So from here now, it's the big push is sponsorship. So we'll push on that here hard for the next couple months. And then as we continue on, essentially, we have bi-weekly meetings up until April. And then from April on, we do weekly meetings until the event. And while doing that, it's figuring out what we need to do for the event logistics wise, food, the beer, insurance, making sure we have all the track equipment, make sure we have all of our workers lined up, and essentially getting all that stuff figured out, all hashed out. On top of that, also we do our own lineups and getting that posted, numbers drawn, get all those cards printed, get all the, we need to do W-9 forms and all that stuff. So getting all that stuff is, sorted out and make sure everything is good to go, as on top of answering all the pullers questions and still working on sponsorships and stuff. And then you get to the track and it's getting it all put together. So it's a lot of work, but in the end, it's all worth it. Obviously for the community of the Nashville area, it's a big time event. Even just in Illinois in general, there's not a lot of big time polling. You get a couple Grand National events and a couple, Champions Tours events, but in that area, there's not a lot. And so being able to bring a high caliber poll to that area is definitely cool to see, and seeing like the crowds that just year after year, they continue to grow. Definitely makes the hard work worth it. And obviously the pollers seem to like it. So we'll continue as long as we get that good reception from both fans and pollers, and continue to try to, again, make it one of the premier events in the country.
So another thing you mentioned with this in times past is it's turning the poller into the promoter.
Mm-hmm.
You see that you get into the event. What are we looking for the pollers to do now?
Yeah, so obviously, the big thing is just we like to see when they get in, sharing that they made it. And then as they, we get closer to the event, we start sharing a lot more once we have our poster ready and stuff like that. We love pollers just being able to share that, fans sharing that just to get the word out. And the more eyeballs that see it, and the more people that purchase live stream or show up, again, the purse just becomes bigger. I mean, that's the very simple way of saying it, is the more people that are watching the event, the purse just becomes bigger. And so that's obviously our goal is, and Jason has always been big on this, is turning the poller into the promoter, because the more that you're sharing it and the more that you're promoting it, the better odds of you pulling for more money. So that's kind of where we're at. And and again, as we get closer to the event, just sharing it, sharing updates of your tractor ready, start up, loading the vehicle. We like seeing that. We like sharing that to the page and get people excited. And especially when, we truly are, there's quite a few events that start before us, but when it comes to like a big national event, the Players Championship kind of is the big first event of the year. And so a lot of people get excited about it. And I was always, the same way. I like seeing when like Sullivan's Pulse in Kentucky, happens, like that's kind of a lot more the bigger stuff that's, starting to happen, and I get excited for it. So, and again, even with TPC, I get excited. Being able to see that stuff and seeing pullers getting ready before the season, really starts kicking off, it's fun. So that's kind of what we just, ask of those that do make the show. Just help us help you, really, is all it is.
What class are you looking most forward to seeing, or what's your favorite class that you guys have maybe added?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to, the modified class again. Seeing some, new equipment that didn't get a pull there last year, and seeing, what kind of show that they could put on this year. Because again, that Saturday night show last year was, to me, was the highlight of the weekend, was the class of the weekend. So I'm looking forward to that, but I'm also looking forward to seeing some 5.0 tractors that normally don't pull with some of these other 5.0 tractors throughout the year. It's more of like the ITPA and Outlaw guys are going to be mixing. A couple, there's a lot of guys that I just feel like just don't normally compete with each other. So I'm looking forward to that. It's a class that's, very popular in that area and continues to grow. And again, the other class that we added back this year is 4-wheel drive trucks. I'm looking forward to seeing them, especially with all these new trucks from California that will be coming out to TPC in May. Looking forward to seeing them and meeting them as well. So I think it's going to be just overall. I'm excited. The event just gets me excited no matter what. But I think all the classes, just looking at who's been invited, I think it's going to be a really good event this year with a lot of high caliber machines, just like in years past. And I always like it because it kind of gives you an insight on kind of where some people are at to start the year. We've had, if I were to go back and probably look at the number of people that have won at least one session at the Pullers Championship, let alone like the weekend championship, I would say there's probably a good correlation on who went on to win a points championship that following year, or that year. So it kind of is a good indication on where you're going to be at. And again, it's almost just a big testing tube. There's no points on the line. It's just go pull, hopefully make some money, and head on your merry way and get the season rolling. So again, we know time of year can be a little bit tough, but again, we want it to be before the season starts because it's easier. Pullers would rather pull before the point season than at the end when everything's already wore out, hurt, broke. And also the farmers would rather it be during planting season than harvest. So that's just kind of where we're at, and we're going to stick to the weekend before Memorial Weekend every year. So if anybody ever questions on when the poll is going to be, that's when it's going to be.
Yeah, that's definitely something special. Once again, we're here with Brent talking about the Pullers Championship, making that transition from the championship tractor pull to the Pullers Championship, not to get all that all confused up. There's a lot of championships going on around this time with stuff, but it's super cool seeing just all the work that you're putting into this. We got a little bit more time here. We can talk about some stuff while we're waiting on Russ Yoder to come on to tell us about his Fort Wayne deal. Is there any classes in particular or years past where you've seen that the competition's just been at another level with stuff, or do you think the field is pretty well stacked with vehicles this year?
I mean, I think we got to the point where pullers are wanting to come to the event. The first couple of years being new and we didn't really have our footing yet. There's a lot of competitors that kind of just waited just to kind of see where things were going first before wanting to come. So I feel like now we have a lot more pullers that are wanting to compete. And because of that, there's a lot better. The quality of equipment is just through the roof. And each year everybody just seems to keep getting better and better. And like the field just keeps leveling itself out. I saw actually a thing on Pull Off about like the pro stock class and how it seems like now anybody can win. It doesn't seem like anybody kind of runs away with it anymore. And I think that's a testament to almost every class nowadays, is that there really isn't anybody that goes out and just dominates one class. And so I think, again, it's top to bottom in every class. It's I think anybody's game this year. And I'm really looking forward to it, just kind of seeing where things shake out. And there's, again, a lot of new competitors that have not pulled at our event, let alone even the track. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And, hopefully this keeps growing, there's other classes I'd like to see potentially, pull here, or we could bring back as well down the road. So the more it grows, the more opportunities that we could also have for, again, another session or, more classes, whatever it could be, to, make this event even better. So.
Yeah, that's super cool with all that. You talked about the live stream a little bit. Where can people go to find the live stream that they might not be able to go in person, or where can you get tickets to the event?
Yeah, so tickets are all just, you show up. We don't do pre-sale tickets, advance tickets. Everything's $20. You show up and you buy it. We're not going to run out of seating. Brad keeps adding more and more, so that we make sure that's not an issue. If we run out of seating and it's standing room only, we will remedy that for the following year. I can guarantee you that. Brad would be very thrilled if we could have a standing room only. And again, the last 3 years now, he's built more bleachers for this event. So we're going to continue adding as we need it. So the more that we have there, obviously the better. And then with the live stream, you can just go right on to our website. It's thepolarschampionship.com. When we get closer to the event, we'll publish the link once we have that. So What's Smoking is going to be back doing the live stream again this year. So Ryan Zolik will be running the live stream, and we will be utilizing their platform. So it'll be a link from our website to their ticketing system. You'll be able to buy a ticket. You'll get an email, and from that email, you'll be able to access your live stream. So, and again, if anybody has any questions as we get closer to the event and they purchase it and they're unsure, you can reach out to us or reach out to Zolik himself, and he'll be able to assist with that. So please,
I know you guys,
if you do buy ahead of time or if you are unsure on how the live stream works, you haven't used it before, I suggest buying it beforehand and knowing how to access it versus trying to call us in the middle of the event. That's the biggest thing when it comes to this is we're running around doing everything, so it's hard to be tech support on the phone trying to get people access to it. So that's my one thing, that if I can make a public disclaimer, do it ahead of time.
So you got, everything we've talked about tonight, everything from vendors to pollers to the event itself. Any other things that the possible fan or something that a first-time fan might need to know about the event?
Yeah. Again, we for those that have kids, we do normally have a kids zone, and we will have that. Your ticket will get you access to the pit area. So once you walk through that gate, you're essentially in the hot pit area. So we do require you to sign a waiver. That is just obviously for insurance purposes. So because you walk through and you have to walk through like the backside of the hot pit area, we do require that. But once you're through there, you are in the pit area, and as well as getting to the other side of the track, the announcer's tower side. So you can walk through that. The gates open at noon each day, so plenty of time to walk through. The show starts at 6 o'clock, so lots to do and lots to see. So you can go ahead and do that. We will have, again, our vendors available, so they will be open. Most of them are ready to go a few hours before the show. So go stop by them and make sure you support them as well for what they do for supporting us. And we also have multiple food vendors on site as well. And so there's different community groups and whatnot that sell food, and we'll have ice vendors on site as well for the pullers. And then we do have camping as well. So camping is free as long as you just buy a weekend pass. So $40 for the weekend for each person that's coming with you. We will have everything updated on the website on when you can come and drop off your camper or show up. And yeah, at some point we might charge for camping, but we want to try to build the campgrounds a little bit, get more people into the grounds. And there are plenty of hotels around. The one in Nashville is probably booked, if I had to guess. There is only one hotel there. And then, if we run out of camping room, we do have, Brad bought 35, 40 acres a property next to the facility. That's where we use for parking, and that's where the monster truck rides were at last year. So we will at some point probably move camping over there if it gets big enough. But for now, you are on the back side of the pits, so you are right next to all the pullers. So if you're staying the night, you can easily get up and go and mosey around the pit area and see what pullers are up, and talk to some of your favorite pullers or hang out and have a drink with them. So, and again, we're still looking into it, but we may be having a band on Friday night, and so that would be another opportunity, and that would be open for the public. And beer would still be sold on site, as our liquor license would allow us to sell beer till 2 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock in the morning. I think it's Illinois. So yeah, that is another hopefully opportunity that we'll have for just more entertainment for the weekend. So, and we might have other things coming. I don't know. There's still a lot of time between now and then. I know it'll come quick, but we'll obviously, again, if you stay up to date on the Facebook page, is the best way for any immediate updates on the event. That's where we'll post them, and then we'll update the website as we need to. So
I know we talked about it a little bit last time we had you on. Who's putting on the event for sanctioning body?
Yeah, so we actually just got all the bids back. So we will be making that post here probably in the next, I assume by the end of the month. So we will yeah, I know we just got the last bid back, so we will be, I'm sure, like I said, making that post here probably in the next week or two.
That's super cool with all that.
Yeah, for those that don't know, we do bid. We send out open bids to the 3 major associations, so Outlaws, PPL, and NTPA, and then they send back a bid to run the event. So
that's something pretty interesting to see with all this. And let's be a promoter for a second here. People always talk about how live stream helps versus hurts attendance with stuff. Have you noticed much of a difference with having your live stream on compared to attendance numbers?
Our attendance numbers keep going up as well as our live stream numbers. So I'm going to say no. I don't believe it affects it. I'm going to go back to I work with the Wisconsin Tractor Pullers, and we live streamed for the first time this year, and the crowds were just as big as they've always been in the past. So even new events, their crowds were just the same. So I would say that live streaming doesn't help, and I think that it is a great way to not only gain more exposure for the event or your association, but it also helps generate more sponsorship opportunities as well, because your event or your association is getting more eyeballs on it, whether it's across the state, across the country, across the world. So it's a big opportunity to also utilize that as a tool to help sell sponsorship, which helps, reduce or cover costs for your event or things for your association. And in return, hopefully people that are seeing this are like, wow, that's a really cool event. I'm going to go there next year. And then they bring more people with them. They spend money at your event. It's a win-win overall. So again, we're at a point, I think we're far enough along that I think we can see the benefits of live streaming and the effects that it can have on the event. And we've also seen it in the past that I think live streaming has helped recover events or make events grow because of it. And so again, I'm a firm believer that live streaming is very beneficial to the sport, in all motorsports, not just tractor pulling, and you can see it across it all.
That was something really cool. Like seeing an event from Wisconsin, it's not going to hurt your promoter as much because I'm not going to be able to make it to the event anyways. Mm-hmm. But you can still get eyes on the event and see, oh, well, they're doing something cool here. They're doing something new here. So I got to see a lot of cool events this summer that you might not have really got to see anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly it. And I have, by watching live streams when I was, before I really got into pulling, more when I was like in college, and I'd watch a lot of the NTPA live streams because they were really kind of the only ones that were doing it at the time. And Outlaws, I believe, were too. at some point. I don't remember when they started, but I know NTPA, when they started their live streaming Bowling Green 50th anniversary was the reason why I went to Bowling Green. Started going to Bowling Green. Rockwell, Iowa is another one that I didn't really know anything much about it. I bought it and I drove 5 hours from my hometown when I was in college down to it to go watch it. So again, I think I'm a firm believer that live streaming, great for the sport, great for events. You just have to utilize it as a tool, not as, something that's bad.
Yeah. Well, we've taken enough of your time here. Let's get any final thoughts on what you have looking forward into this event.
Yeah. So again, I'm looking forward to, 2026. If anybody has any questions, please just reach out. We're all ears. If you have any suggestions or anybody has any concerns, pullers, again, we're here to answer questions and help provide as much information to you as possible. And again, we're 90 days away, something like that from the event. So it'll be here before we know it. I know it will be, but again, looking forward to the 5th year. Somehow it's already year number 5. But yeah, we'll definitely keep everybody updated as we have more information on, more stuff on the event as we get closer to it. But again, the big thing right now is sponsorship. So if anybody interested in sponsoring, anybody that's interested, please have them reach out, and we'll definitely try to figure something out that'll benefit both of us. And again, the more sponsorship, the more people in attendance, the more people buying the live stream, the better things will be.
Well, there you go, folks.
Ready to get this I don't know what monster truck. I haven't talked to Carrie. Carrie's the one that deals with that. So essentially, Brad's able to lock that in with co-op dollars because he's a Ram dealer. So I'd assume that it's whatever body that they have on the truck, whatever truck, if one of them's available, is the one that we would use. And it depends. If we do monster truck rides, it's a different monster truck versus the one if we were just to pull the sled down the track. But the monster truck rides were very popular last year. I'm going to assume that it'll be back this year. And then we'd also have it where some kids can ride in the back of the monster truck as they come out and do the national anthem and stuff like that. So we'll, again, just stay tuned to the Facebook page. That announcement will probably come closer to May. I wouldn't expect it right now, as we are still finalizing some of those details out with Ram and the Hall brothers.
Well, there you go. Once again, thank you for your time, Brent. This has been great information that we talked about here. I'm sure there's a lot of people being really excited right now that they get to see their favorite vehicles. And so thank you for your time. And if you need any info, Pullers Championship Facebook, pullerschampionship.com, find it there, and we should be good with stuff.
Yep. And the fan vote invite list will be on the Facebook page here probably in the next 15 minutes or so. So if you didn't see the invite list, then just head over to the Facebook page and it'll be on there here in just a few minutes.
All right. Thank you very much, Brent.
All right. Take care, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Brent.
So we're talking one event, Pullers Championship, phenomenal event. Now we're going to take a little bit of a change, and we're going to go indoor. I know we just got back from a long weekend there in Louisville, Kentucky, but we are going to make a slight detour, and we're going to talk some indoor pulling in a brand new event here, which some may call it brand new. It's been many, many years since we've seen pulling inside this great building, but let's head to Fort Wayne and let's bring on Russ Yoder. Welcome, Russ. You got us?
Can you hear us?
Lovely.
Why would that be a surprise, right?
Why would that be a surprise?
You there, Russ? There he is.
Russ, can you hear us? I take it he cannot hear us.
He might be muted. It's not muted on our end. Do. Well, we got him. He's here.
You guys there?
I got you, Russ. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
You got me now. Well, there we go. So we got the one, the only Russ Yoder here. I know you had a long week, so we're going to take just a little bit of your time here. But before we talk about the event here in Fort Wayne, tell us a little bit about your past weekend.
Well, it was kind of a long weekend. We had put a new motor together, or Shipley's put a new motor together, and it didn't get done until last minute. So we drove overnight to get to Louisville and had a few minor issues with it. So we didn't finish quite where we wanted to be, but I think we've learned some things, and I think we know how to fix some of those issues now.
So what do you think of the competition now in the Pro Stock division? I mean, we saw a super tight field of competitors all week long.
Yeah, I don't think anything new. I mean, I think the Pro Stock's been one of the most deepest competitive classes there is. I think every night at Louisville, there was probably 6 to 8 tractors that could have won pretty easily. And you even see some of the ones that have done really good outdoors, like down towards the bottom, which is just crazy to me how that can even happen sometimes because they run so well all summer. Then you get this one chance at Louisville, and sometimes it's just hard. You got some gremlins or you got new stuff you're trying. But overall, the Pro Stock class, I think, is just one of the deepest, most competitive classes there is.
Being a first-time guy down there at Louisville, just seeing the amount of depth in the class is wild for someone that you don't see a whole bunch of these tractors usually run against one another with stuff. So
there's usually 50 of them, or 48, I guess, other than maybe Bowling Green where everybody shows up. But that's about a once-a-year deal. So, yep.
So, yeah, that's very cool seeing all that. Well, let's transition a little bit. Let's talk Fort Wayne. Tell us what's everything we need to know about Fort Wayne.
Well, it's coming up in about, just 2.5 weeks or so. March 6th and 7th are the tractor pull dates, and March 7th and 8th are the monster truck show dates. We're going to have about 55 hooks total, I believe, right now, 54, 55 maybe, if everybody shows up. And should be a really good show. We're having 6 different classes. 3 classes will have 6 competitors, and 3 classes will have 11 or 12 competitors. So
I know a whole bunch of people want to know this. When do we get to see who's competing?
Probably this week yet, actually. I'd like to get that out there this week so people that want to show up and see their favorite tractor or truck can get tickets in advance, which you can do at the Fort Wayne Memorial Coliseum ticket office. Go on their website and you can get reserved seats there. So I think we'll get them out this week yet.
What classes do you got in the Coliseum?
Yeah, so region classes will have a 3.0 diesel trucks, hot farm tractors, and light pro tractors. And then the Grand National level will have the Pro Stocks, the mini rods, and what am I missing? 2-wheel drive trucks.
Yeah, that's super cool. Now, are you guys still doing that incentive to where if you beat the national champion, there's a separate prize pool?
So we kind of had to nix that idea because in a lot of our classes, the top 4 or 5 guys aren't going to be there. So it was kind of hard to say you're beating the champion when he was like the 5th or 6th place finish guy. So what we're doing is we're giving the classes with the bigger numbers, the 12 class, we're going to be doing a $5,000 first place purse, I guess you would say, for the pros, the minis, and the light pros. Those are going to be $5,000 to win the weekend.
Now, tell us a little bit, or as much as you can, about the selection process of how the classes and the vehicles competing were picked.
Sure. So the classes that have 6 in them, we took the top 5 in points, whether it be Grand National or Region. And then I had a promoter's choice, 2 promoter's choices for the classes of 12. On the classes of 12, we took the top 10 in points. And then we kind of went from there. So after Louisville, a lot of guys go to Louisville, and there was a lot of guys that just said, we're going to be trying something new, or we want some downtime. So, I mean, it's not going to be the top 10 guys that are going to be there like Louisville would be, but we're going to have 6 really competitive classes with some really good pullers there.
So tell us a little bit about the track. I think this might be one of the very few places where you can actually get a full track in.
Yeah, we could actually probably have a 500-foot track in there if the smoke tube would allow it, but we're going to be staying right there to 300 to 320. I think the smoke tube guy or the sled guys, we're having the Allisons out of Pennsylvania. They do the Keystone pull out in Pennsylvania, be the Terminator sleds. They're going to be doing our sled work, and I think their maximum they really want to go on the tube is 320 feet. And then the mini sled, I believe Vaughn Bauer will bring the mini sled. So we'll have the Bauer Iron Boy for the minis.
You'll run those 500-foot, won't you?
Well, I think we have to have the sand pile close to 320, or 330-ish, so tractors can't go further than 320 and tear the tube up. So unfortunately, we probably have to keep everyone in that range.
That's too funny with all that. So big event coming up. When was the last time they actually had pullers in that arena?
So I think the old ATPA had it there in 2004 and 2005, I believe, or 03 and 04. It was a 2-year deal there, I think. I was actually there as a, pretty young guy, I guess. But I just remember it being a little bit smokier than it needed to be. I think they had some heavy alcohol tractor classes, which really clouded up the room. But hopefully this year we'll have enough smoke classes where things get cleaned out. And I know they've improved their air ventilation system since those days. So I think we're going to have a pretty good clean show. We're expecting everything to work really well there.
What really goes on? I mean, how did this whole idea get started of bringing pulling back to Fort Wayne?
Well, it all started when they stopped doing it at Shipshewana, which is my hometown. The venue there kind of switched hands and switched management, and they decided they didn't want to do any more indoor pulling there at the Mech in Shipshewana. So we were kind of just looking for places to have something, and we knew Fort Wayne could do it, and they had done it in the past. And then this opportunity came up to kind of team up with the Monster Truck Show and kind of split the venue with them.
So what goes into actually putting this event on? Are you doing most of the work, or how's all this going down?
Well, it's definitely a team effort. There is a lot more details and little things you don't think about. Like up at Shipshewana, I helped at the Shipshewana event some too. And by year 2, we had things under control and everything seemed pretty easy. But that first year is always the hardest year. And we're finding that out this year a little bit. Just nothing real major, just small things here and there. And just trying to get all the details ironed out. But Mike Ott, who a lot of people know was a blue shirt and I think president at Bowling Green for a few years. And he also was an official there at Louisville at the National Farm Machinery Show. He's helping us out. And Travis Hostetler, who did the track at the Mech, is doing the track at the Fort Wayne Coliseum. So we had to get some dirt around. We've got 100 and some loads of dirt down in Fort Wayne stacked there since last fall and it's covered right now. So that'll be hauled into the Coliseum a few days before the pull. But we should have a really good track. The Mech track was always really good, and it's pretty much the same dirt as what was there. So we should have a good track there, and a good track at 320 feet indoors. And in March should be a fun time.
Yeah, that's definitely super cool. indoor pulling's always something very special. You don't get to see it much more than once or twice a year. So seeing more events start to come around and do this has definitely been really cool. From a fan's perspective, first time, what can the fan expect, or what do they need to know before coming to the event?
Well, if you want to sign seats, which these are all like individual seats, get your tickets early, and you can get kind of the spot of the track that you want, whether you want to be the starting line or finish line. There's still a lot of the finish line. I shouldn't say a lot. There's quite a bit of the finish line, or towards 300 feet, 250 to 300, that has already been reserved, and you can always get tickets there, obviously, and get tickets at the door. But I don't think there's a whole lot to know. We want to run this show as fast as possible. The one up at Shipshewana had very little downtime. As long as the smoke tube doesn't break, or we have any kind of mechanical issues with the sled or anything like that, we want to keep the tractors going as fast as possible. Start on time, finish early, so people don't, have to leave just because they're tired. And we're just going to try and put on a really good show, even though it's just our first year there.
I'm sure you guys will get her all figured out, and we'll have you back on when we get a little bit closer. But hey, it's coming pretty darn quickly trying to get this all put together. So we will keep on it, and we will catch you there in Fort Wayne.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Sounds good. Thank you, Russ.
See you later.
There you go, folks. Russ Yoder presenting the one and the only Fort Wayne, Indiana tractor pull right there at the Memorial Coliseum. So I think, Jason, what do we need to do? Do we make a little bit of a flop, talk about some previous weekend stuff, and then head south where it's a little bit warmer?
Yeah, we can do that. It looks like we've got the boys that are doing the south thing are ready to go. I'm not sure if they'll be able to hear us.
They need some more time and makeup. Let's talk about the weather some.
Right.
We got to pretty them boys up a little bit. So I don't know about you, but it's beautiful weather up here, but I'm sure that Florida's got some pretty nice weather too.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good time. I know they've got a lot planned. There's a lot of things going on. It's going to be an awesome event, or a couple events.
A couple events at that. Let's bring on these boys. Let's roll a video of good old Jeremy Yeager, and let's talk a little bit of Southern Florida pulling. There you go, folks. Hey, y'all, how's it going?
Hey, guys, what's up?
Oh, it's just another day in paradise. Doug, cat got your tongue? No, he's still sleeping.
Looks like he's froze up.
So, Jeremy, let's talk real quick about what went on this past weekend down here.
Anybody hear me?
Now we got you, Doug.
Hi, Doug.
I can hear Doug. Who gave him technology?
Right.
Let's kick Doug out and have him come back in.
There you go. There we go.
So we can talk to Jeremy a little bit. Jeremy, how was your past weekend?
It was awesome, man. We had a great time.
So
Got there Thursday, unloaded Friday morning. The sun was shining. We waited way longer than we normally do to go into Broadbent, but it was perfect weather. We hung out, laughed, joked. It was great.
talk to us a little bit about your past.
My past. You mean like back when I robbed the bank, or like
No,
pulling
your past there in Louisville.
Oh, my past. Excuse me. Okay. It was okay. Didn't feel like it was a winning pass by any means. I'm pretty sure I didn't refill the fuel before we made a pass. So at the end of the track, pressure there, which would be all me, but it wasn't going to make a difference to win it or be second. Those guys did a great job. We got all we could out of it. I just hope I didn't tear anything up being dumb.
That's super cool. So now we're going to head south for a couple of weeks. Doug, you got us now?
I do. Can you hear me?
That's better. I like that a little bit more.
Awesome.
We can hear him. Doug, introduce us to what you guys like to call the Southern Swing.
Well, we have Full Pull has decided to go venture into the promotion a little bit, and we put together what we're calling the Southern Swing. You know, NTPA Grand National Pulling has not been for points in Florida since 1979. So we're trying to revive that. That swing was called the Southern Swing at that time. So that is the goal, is to get that revived. So we have two events, March 13th and 14th in Zellwood, Florida. And then the March 20th and 21st, we will be at Satsuma, Florida, with 4 classes of mini rods, 4-1 limited pros, diesel super stock 4-wheel drive, and the light modified class.
We can throw this graphic up here. So what all goes into bringing in 2 brand new events into the Grand National Circuit?
It's a lot. I've thought I was pretty seasoned on being a promoter, starting with the Ellsworth Bowl Region 3 event in, well, they're at the 25th year, and I was through it through 18 years. And there's a lot that goes on when you don't have access to equipment and people that you're used to being able to have.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
that's definitely super cool, seeing that we're bringing new stuff to Florida, stuff that doesn't usually get seen on this scale. I know this is what most of the pullers are probably questioning, is what are we looking like on the track side of it?
Zellwood is interesting dirt. I've been involved with that pull on the track side of things for 3 or 4 years. And it's not clay, but it's not sand. I don't know what you call it. It's different dirt, but it's very good dirt if it's put together properly.
Jeremy, have you ever been down to Florida to go pulling?
I've never been to Florida to pull.
Well, pack
I did
your
watch.
swimming trunks.
What's that?
Pack your swimming trunks, because we're going to Florida.
You can bet your ass I'll have all the swimming trunks. I can't wait. I might even take a thong.
Only if you drive in it.
Only if you drive in it. I'm sure Marvin would have a fit on safety requirements after that.
Be fireproof. We'll be fine.
You got plenty of water. You're surrounded by water there in Florida.
No doubt.
So that's super cool. So we got to see the nice banner up on your truck going down it. What are you most excited for looking into the Florida swing?
I'm excited about just seeing everybody. I mean, obviously, we want to go down there and pull. It'll be something different. It's going to be a challenge. I watched the Zellwood pool, the local pool they had a week or 2 ago, and that dirt definitely looks different. It, like Doug said, it's not sandy, it's not clay, it's sandy clay. I'm sure there's a name for it, but I'm too dumb to give you the right answer. But I think it'll be fun. A week down there, there's not enough time to really come back unless you really have to. So get down there, get settled in, go pulling, maybe hit the beach for a few days, and swing on over to the other pool.
Speaking of the beach, we do have a block of rooms for competitors locked off in Daytona Beach.
Oh,
perfect.
So
nice.
Kind of cool. Get people moved from Zellwood to Satsuma on Sunday, and then get your rigs parked and go enjoy the week. We'll take care of everything, make sure everything's safe, and And Satsuma's a really nice place too. It was a racetrack that had sat idle for a while, but Mark Kelsey, he's a light super stock puller from about an hour from here. I think it's Pecatonica, Illinois. And he bought that track and is spent a lot of time and money to get that up to par. So that's Georgia clay that was hauled in there. So
Oh wow.
Okay. So how far is it from Zellwood to Satsuma?
about 2 hours, hour and 45 minutes.
So I'm a Kansas guy. I got to pull up a good old Google Maps here and figure out what part of Florida we actually are in.
So Zellwood is about 30 miles, I shouldn't say miles, 30 minutes from either of the Orlando airports. So you've got Orlando and you have Sanford. So that's about, Zellwood is far northwest Orange County.
Okay. So
it's
really,
it's a suburb of Orlando.
That's very much what it is. You are not too far there out of the heart of Orlando.
Apopka, Mount Dora are the kind of a couple bigger cities or towns. Yep. It's kind of in between that. So
Chris Kilbarger wants to know if you can get a pull there at the Freedom Factory with Cletus McFarland. Boy, wouldn't that be something?
Oh yeah.
We're working on a couple more locations maybe for next year to have 4 events. Obviously, they wouldn't be the same classes. You can't ask people to be gone for months, so you rotate them out.
Yep. That'd be definitely something very interesting, having either a whole event series or just kind of a sub series down in Florida, because the southern events, they don't see a whole bunch of polling down there like what we see up here between, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, or Wisconsin area. So that's definitely super cool of what you guys are putting.
We've got people willing to travel. I mean, we've got 16 4-1s that have committed to go, 14 light mods, 22 minis, and 12 diesel trucks.
That's a very good class of guys.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that we're going to get we'll get some stragglers. You always do. And I'm sure something will happen where they won't be able to go, but I would expect 70 hooks.
I mean, it's Florida in March. I would expect some people to be there.
Right.
Who wouldn't want to be in Florida in March?
Right.
I got to figure out when my spring break is, because that's coming up.
There you go. We've got quite a few friends in Florida. I think a series could probably that could probably be a reality next year.
What are some of the things that you guys are looking forward most on the event? What are some of the biggest things that have gone on that might be something new that you're trying out?
We're going to implement something. This is our blank slate. We sit and broadcast how many events a year that we think we could do better. So this is our blank canvas to do what we want to do and see if our ideas are right or not.
So what are some of your events that you got coming off, right, or some ideas that you got right off the top of your head that maybe you're trying a little bit new?
I don't know if we should talk about that yet.
Oh,
no, so I don't think it's just trying. We're going to work really hard to get that time in between hooks down and show that it can be accomplished. You start shaving a minute off of 60 hooks, that's an hour less of a show.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
Jeremy, what are you preparing for, seeing that it's a little bit different of a track? What are you bringing with you to tune your truck a little bit differently?
We'll bring different tires. That'll be about the extent of it. We'll pay attention to some suspension and some tires and maybe some gearing. And the rest is going to be in my left foot and my right hand, just like everybody else. So I don't. We're not overcompensating to go to Florida. It's going to be what it's going to be. The reality of it is we pull on some really good tracks throughout the year. We pull on some really, really bad tracks throughout the year. I can't imagine a topsoil track is going to be a whole lot different than a sand track. So just going to have to pay attention, keep the power under control, and drive.
One thing.
Go ahead, Doug.
I was going to say one thing we are going to offer on Thursday nights of both events. We're going to run test passes, fully prepped track. Both sleds will be available. And if you want to hook to try and figure something out beforehand, you're more than welcome to. So
I think that's a very, very smart idea with stuff. That's very cool. To where you go, none of these guys have pulled on this track, or very little of these guys have pulled on this track. And then getting one shot at it, you'd really like to have a practice run sometimes, because this is for Grand National points. This is the big deal.
This is a points hook.
Yeah.
So you want to get your season started off well.
And that's definitely a great idea. You'll probably see some of the greatest pulling you'll ever see on Thursday night.
Right. There's going to be some guys.
It's going to be, it'll be intense. No doubt about it.
Is Thursday night live streamed? Because this is going to be interesting.
We have not discussed it, but it's a good idea.
It's a great idea.
I could just see Jeremy up there like,
That's funny.
Let me take my flip-flops off and put my fire shoes on.
There you go.
Like I said, Mark Kelsey's from Wisconsin. He's a dirt guy. He's going to help us. He's kind of in charge of building the track. So
yep.
We will we're going to have like I said, fully prepped tracks starting at 5 o'clock on Thursday night. And if you want to make 1 or 2 passes or whatever, it's there for your taking. So
it's always the big deal is, how do you think the track's going to behave? Like, any track that's good for a mini rod's going to be good for a super stock diesel truck, and likewise with the big tires. Do you think it's going to favor one tire size over the other, being more of a sandy clay rather than a straight clay?
I think class timing is going to be key in that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I have seen that track get tightened up a little bit, but we did some work on it after Christmas. Put some organic material in, because they do pull multiple times a year there. So there's no time for anything to grow. Now, Satsuma is pulled on once a year, and Mark does grow a cover crop on his track. But the Zellwood it doesn't have any organic matter in it, and it made a big difference, I feel, for the pull that they just had.
That's something I've always seen and heard from guys pulling on sand tracks and stuff, is if you can get enough water in them, they'll be some of the best tracks you ever pull on with stuff.
Right.
It sticks together about like that. Have you ever seen that kinetic sand stuff where it's just sticky and it hooks well? I'm foreseeing some really good running vehicles, and it might take a little bit bigger of a gear than what some of these guys I think are going to throw at it.
Right. In 20, I think it was COVID year, maybe it was 21. There were maybe 10 of the Grand National minis went to that event there, because you could still pull in Florida, and they had some pretty good passes. So
yeah, that's super, super cool with all that. What's been kind of the whole deal? Where do you first start from a promoter's side to saying, okay, I want to put on an event? How do you get that kicked off?
Well, we needed to find facilities that we felt were up to snuff to host the caliber of vehicles that we had, and had enough room to do. And that's also hard to do in Florida. There's lots of places to go pulling, but to have the proper dirt and facilities and space. So luckily we had Jason has had the working relationship with the Florida Pullers, and that's their grounds there at Zellwood. So we're familiar with that, and we were familiar with Satsuma. We did look at a couple other locations, but just the way the cards fell, we felt the best two places for this year. And here we are.
Yeah, that's super cool. So how are you guys going to avoid you can set your watch to it, the 3 p.m. shower there that they always somehow get in Florida.
We don't talk about that.
That's how we fix
it's a
that
reality,
problem.
though.
Don't talk
Honestly, it is. That 2 weeks ago there, it was good. It rained on Thursday afternoon, but then they had a beautiful weekend. That was coming out of that brutally cold weekend. So we were fortunate that it wasn't 25 degrees there.
That's going to be great with how all that feels. From the fan side, how do we get butts and seats for this event? I mean, a lot of these guys down here in Florida haven't ever seen a full Grand National caliber points hook down there. What do these guys need to know?
Well, all the information, we have a really awesome tabs on our website at fullpull.us. You log on to that, go to the Southern Swing. It'll take you into that part of it, and there's a place to buy tickets at a time. You can buy advance tickets for a flat fee of $25 prior to the event. And there's also camping available for the weekend. It's primitive, but we have, 65 or 70 camping spots. It's $100 for the weekend. And come in and have some fun.
Nice.
If you do choose to wait till the gate to buy tickets, it's $30 or $30 plus the card fees.
So it is going to go up day of.
So it is, yeah. So it's beneficial to buy them ahead of time.
Chris wants to know if Zellwood is under a cover or not.
Both are wide open outside 350-foot tracks.
Who's doing all of the sleds down there?
So we have Josh Morgan and Mark Bingham for the big sleds. And then Randy Fishbaugh is bringing the old purple mini sled from Bowers. He bought that last summer for Ohio, and that is our mini rod sled.
Yeah, top caliber sleds with that, top caliber competition with it all. I mean, it's going to be a super, super cool event. It's going to be beautiful weather. Make sure, I know being a fellow mini rod competitor, is that you bring a big enough fuel pump, because you're going to be right there almost at sea level with stuff.
Right. I don't know what that number is, but it's close.
It's like right around 140.
Wow. Yeah, I've seen guys get there, and I've gotten pictures where you catch it on a cold night there close to the low there in Florida, and you'll see sometimes even a negative adjusted altitude with stuff because you're just so close down there.
Right.
I mean, you catch it there at the right time, and it gets to where it's very, very good air to pull with. What's one thing that you wish, kind of seeing from the outside, what fans realize what goes into putting the pole on?
Oh, you're going to try and get me in trouble tonight, aren't you?
I'm not trying to get no one in trouble. I'm just trying to pull some words out of the least talkative man we got on right now.
I'm not sure how to answer that question.
Okay. Well, Jeremy, what are you most looking forward to?
Oh, I'm looking forward to the sunshine. I'm hoping it'll be 75 degrees and light breeze, 3 p.m. shower, and let's go pulling.
Doug, what are you most looking forward to?
You know, honestly, he mentions that 3 p.m. shower again. If it's reasonable, that's the best water you can get.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Just nice little garden hose sprinkler to cool you off before you get pulling. What time are we starting both nights? Or I guess both
events. The test passes on Thursday will start at 5 o'clock, and then 6:30. each evening, Friday and Saturday night. If we do have the unfortunate event that there's rain somewhere, we will pull on Sunday. So
Yeah, that'll be definitely very good. So you got 20 vehicles for the minis and got a handful for the rest of them. Are minis your biggest class down there?
they are.
It
Yep.
sounds like from the guys that I talked to, you'll have some top level competition down there running with you guys.
Yeah, most of the big names have signed up.
Yeah.
I just don't want to throw somebody out there and then, well, I said I might go, but
I was gonna say,
we're all
are
good.
we at will to post who's coming?
Yeah, I don't think yet. So
We'll hopefully know here soon on who's going, and we'll
yeah, it was
see.
funny. It was funny at the farm show. I had one tell me, "Yeah, we're going to come," and then it didn't go so well at the farm show. So I hopefully it wasn't too bad, but it's that happens too.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, any final closing thoughts? We'll start with Jeremy. What do people need to know lastly going into this? Pullers and fans.
Hell, I don't know. Just show up. It's going to be a great time. You know, you can't build something if you don't start somewhere. I'm super excited about it. Like I said earlier, I watched the regional pools they had there 2 weeks ago. Looked like they had a great crowd. I'm pretty sure these 4 classes will blow their minds. Kind of hard to understand unless you've been there. You know, you go watch a brush pool somewhere and you go watch a Grand National pool somewhere. They're light years apart, and I hope we turn them upside down and we get to come back next year.
How far of a drive do you got?
I'm not sure. Probably 14, 15 hours. Depends on
A
how
little bit
fast
of a
Jay
short
drives. Yeah. Yeah. It'll be a little bit.
Doug, what do I need to know as a first-time fan?
Well, you can. Where else can you go make a vacation out of tractor pulling, even as a fan? You want to go see Mickey Mouse or go to Universal? It's 20 minutes from Zellwood and an hour and a half from Satsuma. So for the family aspect of things, it's a great place to go. Lots and lots of things to do, lots of things to eat. And it's at Zellwood is kind of a Fort Recovery type scenario where we'll have bleachers on one side of the track. We're bringing some portables in, and the other side there's a hillside. So bring your lawn chairs or your blankets and sit down and enjoy. That's where the bulk of the people were over the past event. So there's plenty of room for everybody.
For sure.
And
I always kind of dug that hillside vibe.
it's not a huge hill. It's maybe 10 feet tall, the difference in elevation, but it's enough. I mean, it's got a nice grade to it. So you get a lot of people on there.
Yeah,
For sure.
that's super cool. Are you much of a seafood eater?
Kind of, sort of. There's
I wasn't expecting that one.
couple really good places.
That wasn't on my bingo card.
There's a place called Mr. and Mrs. Krabs that we ate at Sanford when we were down there. But the really good place that I like and enjoy is in Palatka, which is about 6 miles from Satsuma. That's where all the hotels are for Satsuma. Place called Corky Bill's. And that is really good food.
That's too cool. Where can they find you?
Anybody has questions, they can call me. My number's out there and about, but go to the website, fullpull.us and go to the Southern Swing. And all the information is there. Camping information is there. And we're kind of pounding the social media thing every day as well. So information's out there. I got 4 phone calls today. That's the most I've gotten in one day requesting information on this. So
Well, there you go. Give him a call. Take some of his time. That's what he's paid for, dude.
Yes, it is.
Well,
Chase will appreciate that plug, Logan.
Doug and Jeremy, I appreciate the time you spent with us. It's looking and shaping up to be a really good event. So hopefully you can go enjoy some fun in the sun down there in Florida.
Well, I thank you for having us. I'm sure we'll be back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're bringing you guys on next Monday as well, right?
Cool. Top of mind awareness.
Well, we will
It's
get
gonna
her
be great,
done.
guys.
but
Thanks for having me.
Until next
Thanks for coming.
time, thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Doug. And we will catch you next Monday, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Thank
Awesome.
y'all.
Thanks again.
Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Today,
Today.
let's talk about today.
Grand national state level, you have to run non-sales, wholesale.
Is like 9,000.
The only mistake I made, I didn't put her rate in the registration movement.
Just this ever evolving story.